Chief Deputy Whip and serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee. She also served on the President's Fiscal Commission. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Congresswoman.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Now, I want us both to do a translation of Eric Cantor for the audience. It sounds weird to them for him to say, we are not opposed to revenues, we are just opposed to tax increases. The way I'm reading it is, he's not opposed to increased tax revenue, he's just opposed to raising tax rates. Is that what you think you're hearing from Eric Cantor?
Well, it sounds to me like those things that we call tax expenditures, those tax breaks that mostly go to the wealthiest Americans and add up to about $1.1 trillion a year, that maybe some of those can be on the table. But I'm happy to call even raising taxes revenues. I'll use whatever language he would like, but the point is that we cannot cut our way out of, we can't make the middle class pay more by cutting benefits that go to them. That's all they want to do, and glad to hear that he's saying that revenue is okay.
Now, and this isn't a revolutionary thinking for Republicans. Ronald Reagan did this. He raised taxes, both as governor and as president, at moments where it was clear we needed more revenue. And when I hear these Republicans allowing for the notion that we need more revenue, it feels to me like there may be an increasing crack in this wall where there might be a place for you to start to negotiate.
Well, I've introduced my bill, which you've talked about, the Fairness in Taxation Act. 81% of Americans think it would be the best thing to do in terms of reducing the debt, getting our house in order, to tax millionaires and billionaires. Their proposals all go against the grain of ordinary Americans. Maybe they're starting to read the polls, or maybe they're starting to hear it at their town hall meetings when they go home, that the choices that the Republicans have put on the table are totally unacceptable to Americans who have this gut sense that others are being bailed out, others are doing just fine, and the middle class is disappearing, and the American dream is going down the drain. I hope there is that crack in the wall, that finally they're doing something that I think would be much more consistent where Americans want them to go.
I really hope that your bill can come to a vote in the Senate or the House, just to get recorded votes in both parties on this. Let's take a look at the tax brackets you would create. I've always found Democrats are way too timid when it comes to the top end of the tax bracket. It's stuck now at 35, and it was pushed up to 39 when President Clinton was there, and the rich people and the economy thrived with that rate. But you would go higher for the astronomically high incomes. You would go to a new bracket of 45 over $1 million, and then I think quite sensibly realizing that incomes skyrocket above that, a $10 million bracket would go up 1 point to 46, a $20 million bracket would be 47%, and for over $100 million, and we have incomes in this country over $100 million, that would have its own tax rate of 48%, and then a tax bracket for over $1 billion, which we do need in this country, of 49% for income over $1 billion. I don't know anyone out there who, if they could earn another $1 billion, would say, no, 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 I don't want it, if I can only have half of it, if I can only have 51% of the $1 billion.
And you know what?
Go ahead,
that's a tax bracket that's still lower than the highest tax bracket under Ronald Reagan. So clearly, people who bring in $1 billion a year could certainly afford that. And I think we should call on their patriotism. 150 millionaires and above have signed on in support of my legislation. They're really saying, for the sake of our country, I'm more than happy to pay more.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, thank you very much for your bill, and thanks for explaining it to us and joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Lawrence.